Series. The game will be the competition between Competitive Edge, the number 5 seed, with an overall record of 4 wins and 1 loss. They will be the visiting squad. And MPT Rentals with a record of 4-0, the number 3 seed in the tournament. They will be the home team. As we get started, let's take a look at the lineup for each team, beginning with Competitive Edge. Gentlemen, as your name is called, please take a place on the foul line in front of your dugout. We'll start off in their batting order lineup. Number 15, Logan Rogers. Number 28, Tyler Irvine. Number 33, Ryan Honeycutt. Number 52, Joe Boland. Number 2, Mitch Lindensky. Number 2, Jeff Roxby. Number 23, Brandon Jackson. Number 50, Andy Filateo. Number 16, Farron Miller. And number 40, Casey Scoggins. The other members of Competitive Edge: Jason Branch, number 44. Number 7, Cody Roten. Number 19, Taylor Cobb. Number 91, James DeLagara. Number 5, Sean Ramsey. Number 22, L.C. Watson. And number 0, Mason Farmer. The sponsors for Competitive Edge: Mark Patterson, Mark Bernius, Lee Trotter. And the coaches: Brandon Miller, Farhan Farja, Cameron Andrews, Ronnie Westbrook, and Steve Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, Competitive Edge.
And over in the third base dugout, their opponents for this championship matchup, they enter as the undefeated team. If they win this game, they will be your 2022 World Series champions. If Competitive Edge beats them, we'll have a second and decisive championship game. The home team, MPT Rentals Juneau Athletics, a major team playing out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And now here are the members of MPT Rentals. Leading things off, it'll be the second baseman, number 27, Flip Washington. Batting second to catcher, number 35, Ryan Harvey. Batting third in right field, number 99, Jojo Bennett. In the cleanup spot, the shortstop, number 7, John Williams. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 1, John Radich. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 8, Josh Kirsten. Batting seventh, the middle infielder, number 13, Orlando Castillo. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 6, Chris Aninos. Batting ninth, the third baseman, number 77, Connor Murray. And batting 10th, the pitcher, number 11, Bill Pickup. The other members of MPT Rentals: number 9, Donnie Walsh. Number 5, Joe Jordan. Number 19, Orlando Oliveira. Number 22, John Dombrowski. Number 4, Kyle Overstreet. Their outstanding sponsor and manager, number 2, Mark Carucci. And the assistant coach, Patrick Raporti. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MPT Rentals Juneau Athletics. And now the umpiring crew for this championship game. Behind home plate, the Conference Umpire of the Year, Steve Milani. At first base from Jacksonville, North Carolina, Rob Mantlo. At second base from Cincinnati, Ohio, Eric Rice. At third base from Blytheville, Arkansas, Philip Taylor. And down the lines, it'll be Chase Cope from Sherwood, Arkansas in left, and Matt Gregory from Seattle, Washington down the right field line. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would ask ask that you please rise, remove your caps, the American flag over the left center field wall, and join us in singing our national anthem.
It is Championship Saturday from Florida Space Coast, USSSA Space Coast Complex tonight, bringing you the Men's Major World Series Championship. Competitive Edge taking on MPT Reynolds, Bernie Gunther, Todd Ankney, and our entire crew. Glad you are with us. Rematch of last night's game, Todd. And if you're Competitive Edge, what do you think you learned from that loss?
I think you learn that you actually can play and beat these guys. It's just you need a few breaks to go your way. Momentum is huge in this World Series so far this year. I think as far as Competitive Edge needs to go, they need to stay on hitting baseball down. Home runs will come, and focus on great defense. MPT side, I think you continue to do the same. Their defense and pitching has been outstanding. Scoring runs has been a premium for them. But I think tonight, I think we could see a little bit different.
It's interesting because it's kind of been a strange day, if you will, because for the most part, we had a lot of high-scoring games, and the breaks kind of went on with that Proton Monster game that was 9-6. Not a high-scoring win for Competitive Edge, 11-5. They're probably going to have to score in the 20s if they're going to win this first game, is my assumption, right?
I mean, ideally, but last night's game was very low scoring, right? So, I mean, I think it was 11-7 or 19-7, I'm sorry. But I think 20 is a great number. If you can get to 20 tonight with the way the conditions are, I think you put yourself in a very good position to win a championship.
Beautiful night here on Florida Space Coast. Temperatures 75 degrees, so just a little notch hotter than it was last night. A slight breeze blowing, as you would imagine, out toward right center field. And MPT, they have been waiting for this moment for quite some time.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, they were in the second place. They were in this game and ended up taking second to Resmondo. And then last year, not quite. This year, now they're in the driver's seat. Win, and you're a champion.
We got the biggest home run hitter on both sides. Austin Doss, 7 home runs, but Tyler Irvine, Ryan Harvey, both with 6 home runs in this game. So potential to see a lot of big bombs as well. surprising. It's a season that we don't see Smash It in the championship game. We don't see Rosmondo in the championship game. Some people thought it was Monster's year that we'd have a Monster championship game, but it's MPT, competitive edge. You got to tip your caps because these two played the best. They made it to that winner's bracket final, and we got the same matchup here for the championship.
Which is great, right? If you're competitive edge, because that's what your goal is, to get there. MPT has had this little chip on their shoulder all year, and in the regular season, they finished 3-0 in the last 3 events that we had, so they're on quite a high right now. Win this game is 4 in a row in a Major World Series championship. Competitive edge coming off a AA World Series championship less than 4 days ago. I mean, and they ran through that.
We got a guy like Ryan Harvey, and that gives you all sorts of opportunities to win big games. But I think that the key that we've seen throughout the course of this day is just how important it is in this scenario to play defense. You can't give any extra outs.
Extra outs kill you at this level. It's just like anything else. Make the plays that are at you. If you make anything special, it's great. Consistency, though, is the key here.
All right, so here we go. Men's major championship game. Logan Rogers, shortstop, getting set to lead things off here from Florida Space Coast. Competitive edge, they've got to win 2, but before they have an opportunity to win 2, obviously they've got to take this first one. And a line drive base hit. That's a good start for Rogers, who's aboard with a single to start things off.
He's absolutely been on fire. I think he led off the last game with the exact same hit. He's the catalyst for this team.
Both teams batting 10 tonight. I think we talked a little bit about it with the CEO of USSSA, Donnie DiDonatis, and Coop, just about, especially because we've seen such low-scoring contests, the key of rolling over your lineup, maybe a little bit more, batting only 10.
Right, I think in this scenario, right, you want to get Tyler Irvine and Ryan Harvey as many at-bats as possible. They are total home run threats. Anytime they pick up the bat, you see a high fly ball there by Tyler Irvine.
And caught out in center field, Josh Kirsten makes the play, and that's a big out. It's interesting because you take a look at Tyler Irvine, and yes, he's got the 6 home runs, but I think that he'd still tell you that he would love to have a little higher average than 619 in the series.
Yeah, it's been really feast or famine for Tyler. He was 4 for 4 against Rosmondo with 4 home runs, and then the very next game he only hit 1 and 3, so he's 1 for 4. So I think Tyler would like to be a little more consistent at the plate, but we'll see what happens here. Another great player here.
Yeah, Ryan Honeycutt, 10 of 19. He's got 5 home runs. Honeycutt with 5 home runs. Brandon Jackson with 5 home runs. So it's not all Tyler Irvine. And a lot of people throughout the course of the season thought that this competitive edge team, that they should have been classified as major. Nice play on the infield. We'll flip it over to second with Flip Washington.
Amazing, right? Flip Washington really come out. Everybody, I think, knew him as an outfielder, and as he's gotten longer into the conference, he's really developed into a really good outfielder, or an infielder, excuse me, and first baseman. So that's a huge out right there. That's 2 outs quickly for competitive edge, and the guy that's up now, Joseph Bolden, has been killing it for them, mostly to the right side, but I think if I'm Bill Pinkham, I try and pitch him out of the inner half here and make him pull the ball.
There's a base hit.
So exactly, that's his honey hole.
Yeah, because you think about it, you started off with Logan Rogers getting a base hit, and you're thinking it's going to be a completely different first inning for competitive. It seemed like it took them a long time to get going last night when they matched up with MPT, and the last thing you want to do is not score anything. MPT loads you up for 6, and not that you're feeling like you can't come back from 6, but it just starts to be this big mountain that you have to start to climb, and the pressure starts to really fall on your shoulders.
And the way it is in this World Series, it's a little unusual. The scores are lower, so really a 6-run lead really amounts to like 11 or 12. Ladinsky with a long drive to right field.
Ladinsky back, and it's caught back at the wall by Jojo Bennett. Hauls it in, retires aside, and just like last night, competitive edge, scoreless in the top of the first. Just underway in Vieira. It's the Men's Major World Series Championship game, and undefeated MPT Reynolds coming to the plate when we come back. Back here, bottom of the first, thanks to the fine folks at SmashItSports.com, bringing you live coverage tonight on Facebook.com as well as YouTube of this Men's Major World Series Championship game. Start to finish, you'll be able to enjoy this one. And it's interesting because the ball has certainly been one of the storylines of the Men's Major World Series, but you get a chance to talk to Carucci as you see Baron Miller, the pitcher tonight. He said, you know, MPT has loved this because they're undefeated. They're into this championship game, and you got Flip Washington, you got Ryan Harvey, you got Jojo Bennett. They've been in some long balls. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely capable of. This ball is definitely different. It's definitely a different process to win games here now, where you could just out-muscle people as a major team. And now, really, the teams that are having success are hitting the ball down and then, again, taking a home run when it's available. This guy is certainly capable of hitting a home run. It's interesting, last day we saw him just kind of have a ground ball that he was called out on as like a short swinging bunt, and then Jason Oberleg was watching his second swing, which they did allow him to base it, but he said that he might have even said that it was a chop swing, so it would have put him 0 for 2, but you see obviously Flip Washington right here on his first swing of the night, trying to put a little more mustard in than he did on his first swing last night. I think for sure. So I think the rule is, right, no bunting and no chopping, right? I don't think there's necessarily the wrist break or anything like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be swing as hard as you can. There's a great drive in the left center field. And Washington is aboard, chugging into second, and he's in with a double. A great start for MPT Reynolds. Yeah, you can see the energy in the MPT dugout is already at the top level here. Woo. Aiming at the big, heavy hitter. Cutting down logs in the offseason. Chopping the balls over the scoreboard during the contest, and we expect another huge night for Ryan Harvey. It doesn't matter the ball, folks. He can mash it. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, Ryan is an absolute specimen to stand next to, and actually a great person, fantastic person, loves to interact, and fantastic father. 12 runs batted in this Major World Series, 6 home runs, and he goes the opposite way, and he's got a base hit, and here comes Flip Washington. He's going to come in to score, and MPT Reynolds, they've got the early lead, 1-0. They're on the scoreboard. I have to tell you, that was an absolute rocket off the bat. Andy Phillips is a great infielder and has been seeing balls like this. And I don't think he's seen one that hard yet. Like, that ball was by Andy before he had a chance. That is an amazing swing by Ryan Harvey. I think Philatella thought that he might have a chance to grab it, but just as quick as he tried to get his glove up, it was gone. There is Jojo Bennett deep into the night, but the ballpark will hold this one. Caught out and right by Scoggins. Jojo Bennett's a great player too. Another guy who can go out to the outfield, can play infield, has an absolute cannon, and can hit it with the best of them. Big John Williams. Folks, he does not look like a shortstop.
No, but I'll tell you what, the guy can play. He always will say, you ain't seen 300 pounds run like this. And I have to admit, I haven't seen it very often.
We talked about it a little last night. John Williams might be due because he's hitting 273 here in this major World Series. Only 3 hits and 13 plate appearances. And you'd say, yeah, it's good. We're in a good spot. But I'd almost warn you that he's got to be due to go 10 for 10 at this point, right?
So, right, if the law of averages, if John's a 700 hitter, the law of averages tell you he's going to. Ooh, John turns on one hard foul.
So there's no safe place to park, folks. We tell the newcomers onto our crew, do not park in the outfield. There's lots of great parking available.
Give it to Mark Carucci for kind of leaving his lineup alone. If it's not broke, don't fix it type thing, right?
We got to stick with what got you to the championship, right?
I think that if you meddle, it's too much, right? You want these guys as clear in mind as possible so they can just go out and play.
This one floating the opposite way. Scoggins back and it leaves the yard. There you go. John Williams, just his second home run of the Men's Major World Series, and what a start for MPT Reynolds.
Yeah, jump out to a quick 3-0 lead. Competitive Edge a little back on their heels right now. Best thing they can do here is just focus on one batter at a time, try and get, you know, that second out and hope they can bunch him up, come back in the dugout and ramp. But if you're MPT, I think you just put pressure on. I think they feel it and they can smell that they can win this game and not play two.
Yeah, let's face it, who wants to play two when you're in the catbird seat, right?
Absolutely not.
I thought it was too tall, too.
Because obviously all the pressure is right now on Competitive Edge. They have zero margin for error.
Yeah, and normal is a situation like this, if a double-A team is playing a major team in the championship game, you'd think, wow, there's no pressure on those guys, right? They shouldn't win. I don't think that's the attitude over there. I think they anticipate, they want to win, and think they should.
Radic ground ball up the middle. That's a good job on the infield. Those are the plays that you have to make if you're going to be in a championship. It's kind of, you know, if you missed it, it was early in the day at 8 a.m. The Smash It Sports Rosmondo game, but, you know, DW will even tell you that it was one of the best games that we've seen probably in the last 5-10 years because it went toe-to-toe. But Smash It nearly gave the game away with not making plays like that in the 7th inning.
Yeah, they had 2 crucial errors in the 7th inning, and they had enough wherewithal to come back in their half of the 7th and top Resmondo.
Ball stayed in.
Josh Kirsten, center fielder at the plate. 3-0 MPT lead.
2 balls, no strikes.
2 balls, no strikes. The count.
Good job. Strike. 4.
Josh Kirsten wearing shoes dedicated to his 2 boys back at home. One is Hulk, one is Spider-Man.
Big 2-out base hit.
And that's really
was thinking 2, but holds up.
That's really Josh's honey hole right through the middle there. So Farron needs to really set up, maybe get something, have Josh try something different because that's real easy for Josh Kirsten to hit that spot there. It's like Ryan Honeycutt's trying to direct some traffic out there himself.
Here's Orlando Castillo, 500 hitter. He's driven in 7 here in this tournament.
Huge game-winning hit in the semifinals in the 4-3 ball game at the Major World Series. Conditions are different here now, but 4-3, huge bottom of the 7th swing by Orlando Castillo.
Play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A little curveball there by Farron.
Play.
Wasn't in the same zip code as the play. There's a liner right to second base, and the play made to retire the side by Andy Fillertello. But a good start for MPT Rentals, trying to win the Men's Major World Series for the first time, already on top, leading 3-0 after one.
Hey guys, Mark here with Smasher Sports. Hope everyone's enjoying the Men's Major Tournament. Go Smasher Sports teams. Just so everyone knows, we have $99 Slowpitch bats going on right now. Select bats only, but tons of deals, 15% off some of the new stuff. Some bats, Mike and KP's at $199, but we have bats right now at $99.99. Go get yours before they sell out. They will sell out this weekend. Hurry over, smashersports.com. Viper Premium Batting Gloves, featuring Lycra Cool backing for breathability, Viper Skin Leather Palm for ultimate feel and grip, triple stitched seams for unmatched durability. Get your Viper batting gloves only at smashersports.com.
The moon over Vieira. They'll be on their way to the moon from the Florida Space Coast relatively shortly. They had a huge rocket, the SLS, the Space Launch System. It rolled all the way out to the pad. It's going to be the biggest rocket to take off in my lifetime, and they rolled it all the way back. But apparently in November it's going to go there, and maybe next year, Todd, you could hop on and go to the moon.
Yeah, I would like to go to the moon sometimes every day. But no, that's exciting news for people here at Vieira, and if you get a chance to come down here, it's a great place to visit.
Jeff Roxby, right back to the pitcher. Bill Pinkerton. Hey, he did a great job of staying with it, because I thought for a moment there that he may have let that play get away from him, right?
Yeah, listen, Bill Pinkham is one of the best defenders at that position that there is. And if you see here, it maybe caught him a little off guard, maybe on the back pedal, but listen, he is one of the few pitchers that actually would like the ball hit at him. So Bill's shoe game always on point. Loves his Jordans.
It's all about those style points, right?
I can't agree more.
Brandon Jackson tied for 5th in the tournament with 5 home runs here at this Men's Major World Series. Austin Daw came into this game with 7. This ball is going to hold up just enough as well. 2 away, 2 quick outs, and this is not the start that you're looking for if you're a competitive edge.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused on what Brandon was thinking there. In the last game against Monza, he hit one to right field on top of the white batting cage building over there that almost cleared it, and then to go to backside here with the wind blowing across the field. Maybe nerves, maybe he's a little, out of place, or maybe he just felt like he could hit that ball that way.
Well, I think we said it from the moment that Competitive Edge won the AA, they've kind of they put off the brakes. It wasn't a huge celebration because their eyes were on this championship. And now they wake up here on Saturday night and they're here in the championship.
Brandon Miller was with our team for a while, I guess as an understudy. Bill Pinkham helped an effort as an understudy, and really came to us to try and learn. And he learned whatever he learned from me, he's taken it to a whole other level, because the guys won AA, and now here he is in the championship game of the Major World Series, which there are some people that play this game their entire careers and never sniff this game.
But here he is, 2 wins away from being men's major champion. We talked about it last night. It's been essentially 20 years since a not major team has won this Major World Series, and Competitive Edge finds themselves 2 wins away from a little bit of history. The first one here at Florida Space Coast, because the last time it happened, the game was at ESPN Wide World Sports, so they got to start to score runs, and here they are trying to score the game's first run for Competitive Edge. It's going to be cut off. Good job by Villartello to race around, and Competitive Edge on the board. It's 3-1 here in the top of the second. Nice piece of hitting. Big performance, and the pitcher can come through at the bottom of the lineup. It is huge.
Yeah, Farron's been doing it really the entire tournament. there are spots when you're like, well, we're going to get to fair and we're going to get an out. And to his credit, he's driven the ball to the gaps. He's hit holes. Traditionally not one of those feared hitters, but I got to tell you, he's on it now.
Mason Farmer on to run for him. That's just the second run batted in of this major World Series for Farron Miller. Big hit there by Scoggins in the 10-hole, and it's going to roll the lineup back over to Logan Rogers, who really set the table. He started off the game with a line drive base hit, and I said, hey, things look pretty good here.
Correct, yeah, and now you have Scoggins, who's fresh into the game. I believe Jason Branch is taking the game off for now, maybe coming in for a pinch hitter, not feeling it in the last game. Bring Scoggins in, base hit, and now you get to your top of your order here. 3-1 is a lot different than 3-0, right? Because now you crack the egg and you feel like you have a little momentum here. 2 outs, huge swing by Rogers coming up.
Rogers trying to get his second hit of the ball game. He's driven in 4. A chance to get his 5th and make it a 3-2 ball game here.
Good pitch by Pink on the outer half there.
And Logan Rogers has got great speed. He's got 4 triples so far in the Men's Major World Series.
And I think that comes not only from his speed, but his bat, right? Like, so you're hitting it down versus letting it fly up in the air where guys can run underneath it.
This ball, though, flown into center. The ballpark is going to hold it, but the good news for Competitive Edge is they are on the scoreboard. Their pitcher, Miller, comes in. Just his second run batted in the Major World Series. And we head to the bottom of the second. MPT leading by 2 in the Men's Major Championship.
Rocket Launch. Stay for so much more. Rediscover family fun by planning your next Cocoa Beach vacation today.
While bats get hotter and hotter, pitchers are left to fend for themselves. Now, the technology that defends batters and catchers is being used to defend softball pitchers. The Viper Pitcher's Helmet by Schutt is the only NOXI certified pitcher's helmet on the market, making this the safest helmet in the game. Better visibility and protection, comfortable fit, complete head coverage, 1-year warranty. Get your Viper Pitcher's Helmet only at smashitsports.com.
All right, so Miller coming through. He's got the RBI, Competitive Edge on the board, and again, just a different field. 3-1 versus 3-0. At least you're on the board, but you got to find a way to get some outs here and not let MPT Reynolds score 3-6. I mean, the hard thing with a major team like MPT Reynolds is they are capable of a huge inning. And the crazy thing is, I'm not sure that I've seen a double-digit inning at this year's Men's Major World Series, but how often is that a key as you see a line out to first base and a diving play? Tyler Irvine, not only can he hit home runs, he can make diving catches as well.
I think that was probably one of the better ones we've seen all weekend. Completely elevated off the ground. Looks around, says, yep, guys, I got it.
And the stash, it still looks good.
Well,
what do they say, number 3 stash in the league?
Ben Dunn has something to say about that. Ben Dunn is not terrible.
Connor Murray, third baseman in the 9-hole. Pinkham due up next.
Connor's looking to get something started here for his club. Because the last thing you want to do is give Competitive Edge any momentum. They've scored a run. They feel like they can do something now. They're early at the top of their order. I believe Tyler Irvine's going to lead off for them. So Connor Murray really would like to get on base here.
And to center. 2-away. It's just that easy, right?
Just pretty simple. Yeah, if you're Farron Miller, it is, I guess. The dude's been unbelievable today. Actually, all weekend. I think their other pitcher, who I believe was MVP of the AA World Series, is L.C. Watson, hurt his hamstring and I think pitched the first inning of the Major World Series. Farron has come in, maybe Mason Farmer a little bit. Farron's come in, done an amazing job, and I believe LC is okay to pitch right now, but the way Farron is pitching. Farron Miller has been unbelievable.
And so Pinkham comes to the plate.
Yes, sir.
556 average. 5 hits, 9 plate appearances. One of those 5 hits extra base for double.
And that's
Make it 6.
That's a great average, great everything out of the pitching position. Because realistically, in most cases, a lot of times pitchers don't hit. There are some exceptions to the rule. Obviously, the great Andy Purcell was a great hitter for a long time. Travis Clark. I mean, those guys hit, but most guys are not that talented. Pinkham's carrying his team right now a little bit, offensive side.
First time up for Flip Washington, a double. And I think the dangerous thing, he's again another 500 hitter that you expect him to be a couple hundred points higher than that. So you have a chance for some of these MPT hitters to really go off tonight.
Yeah, and Phillips has been, I think, led the conference last year, 839 on base, right? So the 500, popped it up.
It's it there. It's a long run. And caught by the shortstop, makes the play. Logan Rogers comes back and takes care of Flip Washington, and they flip the script a little bit in the second, folks. MPT Reynolds goes scoreless. Competitive Edge scores a run, and it's a 2-run ball game after 2 here in Vieira at the Men's Major World Series.
Wear what the pros wear. Vipers batting gloves and turf shoes available only at smashitsports.com.
Another finishing up. Backfield, SeaWorld Series making their way into the Space Coast Stadium. An action-packed week here from Florida Space Coast. And by the way, we will have the SeaWorld Series on the air tomorrow morning starting at 8 a.m. So you can still have Slowpitch on your Sunday morning. Some of our great crew working overtime for you. We'll wake up tomorrow, come in.
My favorite guy is KJ.
He's the man, right? He'll be here. Probably not going to see anybody with the type of power that you're going to see right here, though.
Or the mustache.
Or the mustache.
Just had a great defensive play in the field. Let's see if Tyler can do it on the offensive side here. Oh, and that one is hammered.
Qigong off the Juno sign, if you will. And now he's tied for the men's major lead. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
That is an absolute creature. Tyler Irvine has at a different level with his power. There's another couple people too, like Ryan Harvey, Phil Matt. I'm probably missing a bunch, but those are the ones that come to my mind now.
Just the second run of the ball game. 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, listen, now the pressure switches over to MPT a little bit. So you're thinking you're cruising, you get a 3-run lead, and then all of a sudden you get 2 runs back-to-back innings.
Honeycutt. Backhanded by Washington. He hurries, and a nice little play there over at first. How about the pick by John Radich that saves the day?
His shoes aren't just flashy, his leather is flashy too. Great play. Great play actually by Phillips too.
It works. Think of it. Great play by Flip. A little low throw, but it was picked easily.
Yeah, great play by Pinkham, a little deeper. Tried to pull a deeper pitch, ended up grounding it out. Not sure Radich saw it all the way through, but it doesn't matter because he's out.
Bolin now the batter.
There's a new wrinkle there. You saw a curveball instead of a knuckleball to open up Bolin.
1-1.
Of course, a season where the greatest pitcher of all time ending an era, and Andy Purcell earlier today. You think about all these pitchers and how much they have learned over the years from an Andy Purcell and how much he has changed the game.
Listen, I know personally people who have paid Andy for pitching lessons, right, that wanted to learn and understand it. Andy will go down in this game as arguably the greatest or one of the greatest players ever to play the game. And for me to watch his final game was special. I mean, I think Andy probably didn't want any of that, knowing Andy, but I think it was well-deserved. The montage last night was very, very touching, especially the part with his daughter.
I think there's a lot of people that even when they heard that he was retiring still did not believe that that was going to be the case.
Still heavy.
Sure, many people were hoping that he would win his 13th Men's Major World Series, but he's won plenty of championships, folks, in his time.
I think if Andy told it, Andy would probably disagree with you. Andy probably wanted 24 out of 24.
I'm sure he did, yeah. And that's why he won 12.
Correct.
This is a shot towards the gap. Long run, and it's gone! Competitive Edge is on top, 4-3.
It's Sladinsky. He doesn't just carry water buckets, man. He hits it.
Just his second home run of the Men's Major World Series, and it couldn't have come at a bigger moment.
Yeah, that is an absolute clutch hit for Sladinsky and Competitive Edge crew. Now, if you're MPT, you're still kind of acting cool. You're still kind of like, okay, hey, we're still the champ. We're still here. But now you're Competitive Edge, you're like, hey, I'd like to run away right here, right? Put this thing a little bit further away, a little further away. Swings when you're leading are different than swings when you're trailing.
And I would think to a certain extent at this moment, it's just a sigh of relief for Competitive Edge to say, hey, we're sitting here. We've got the lead. It's not a huge lead. We're only leading by 1 run, but we had the lead. We're in the lead.
And we're capable of keeping the lead, too, right? They've proven that.
Playing in this Men's Major World Series Championship where the home runs are unlimited. Hasn't really been a factor here in the 2022 series. But it's a cool night. Obviously, the ball is flying, and it could be a big factor. And obviously, for Competitive Edge, you still need to get as many as possible. Maybe you don't feel like you need to be 8, 9, 12 ahead of MPT, but you certainly want to be 5 or more ahead.
Pressure is huge in this game. So if they can score 2 or 3 more even here, again, the swings change, the mentality change. Jeff Roxby, 3 years in a row, AA champion. Can't say enough about him. The dude just hits it all over the park and plays a great infield, too.
Brandon Jackson looking for his first hit. There's only 1 out, 3 already in here in the top of the third of the championship game. Competitive Edge has got to win twice. Rolled over. Radich, it's a smart play. Just take the easy play, tap the bag at first, looks the runner back.
When in doubt, get the out, right? I think everybody knows that before the ball hits you, you want to know what you're going to do with it. John Radich obviously proved that point. Brandon, a little sluggish so far this game, but I think he come up big for him still. I think Brandon can come up big for this crew.
And he looks Roxby back to second. So Jeff Roxby holds, and it's up to Andy Filatello to try to drive in the 4th run of the inning here in the 3rd for Competitive Edge, who finds himself with a 1-run lead. First pitch just inside.
Still through it. 2-0.
2 balls, no strikes.
Pinkham didn't necessarily love that call, but we are at the Men's Major World Series, so it has to be a strike. There's no gimmies here.
Philadelphia's walked 3 times so far in this year's series. So he's proven that he has a decent eye.
Yeah, this is one of the few places, I think the only place in Conference USSSA where they don't score walks as it's batting average.
Yep. Yeah, true batting average. For really the only time during the season that there are errors on the scoreboard. Right now, MPT Reynolds has been charged with 1 error. Something you just don't see during the regular season through Conference USSSA. And Miller, who had the big hit earlier.
Broke the seal. Looks pretty calm up there.
So a walk there. Logan Rogers, 4 walks for competitive edge. Second best to Brad Lundis so far in the men's major, who walked 5 times. This is a big spot for Miller, though.
I think Farron's going to try that left center gap here.
One ball, one strike.
Pinkham changing it up a little bit, maybe try and take some of that momentum back, get a miss hit here, get his crew back in the dugout.
1-1 pitch, ground ball to third, bobbled for a second. They've got to hurry. They're safe, but everybody on the, oh no! They said he's out at second. Oh my goodness. I thought for sure he was safe. Let's take another look.
I guess the angle there, we don't really see if his foot's above the base or if he slid into it. Not really sure. Brandon Murray looks...
I mean, he looks like his foot is at the bag before the ball gets there.
So now, I will say this. Last night, we did have a call overturned that was a judgment call that was clearly in error. Brandon Miller not happy at all.
Competitive edge, not the end of the inning that they had hoped for. They were hoping that the bases are loaded, but the good news, the bats started to heat up, and it became a 3-run inning. And for the first time in this Men's Major World Series, competitive edge finds themselves in the lead, up 4-3, headed to the bottom of the 3rd.
Hey guys, Mark here with Smasher Sports. Hope everyone's enjoying the Men's Major Tournament. Go Smasher Sports teams. Just so everyone knows, we have $99 slow pitch bats going on right now. Select bats only, but tons of deals, 15% off some of the new stuff. Some bats, Mike and KP's at $199, but we have bats right now at $99.99. Go get yours before they sell out. They will sell out this weekend. Hurry over, smashersports.com.
Right back here, Smash It Sports, bringing you live coverage of the Men's Major World Series for free on Facebook Live. And 1-run lead can change in a moment with the big man coming to the plate, and Ryan Harvey.
Ryan is as prolific as it comes as far as hitting home runs. The other night, when these two teams played, Tyler Irvine hit a home run, and Ryan Harvey hit one right after him and said, hey, don't forget about me.
Austin Dawn, Tyler Irvine, both with 7 home runs, and goes without saying that Ryan Harvey can join them all with one swing right here. Right behind with 6.
Play.
You see how Miller deals with Harvey.
Looks like he's trying to touch the ceiling there on Ryan.
Play.
Ball turning, it goes foul.
Foul ball!
What do you do to try to counteract the power that a Ryan Harvey brings to the plate?
I think he kind of disrupt his, most of these hitters are very programmed to do one thing, right? Whether their routine is the same, everything's the same. So I think you try and disrupt some of that. You make them swing at pitches that are borderline strikes versus actual strikes, right? And I think then you have a better chance of getting them out. And Farron's doing that right here. So Farron is you know, we're at 3 from release and 10 feet total, right? And Farron is absolutely hitting that limit of 10.
Work that time. Harvey popped up to left field. Ballpark is going to hold it. Jackson comes in to make the play, and it's a big out. If you're competitive edge, you're trying to cling to this 1-run lead and hold it into the 4th.
Yeah, can't float.
I think Ryan just asked the umpire, was that high or was it a strike? That's very common. And now Jojo Bennett, certainly not quite as big as Ryan, but definitely has enough power to get it out of here and tie this game up.
Time for the 5th best slugging percentage. Billy Sanders from Boff Ford actually had led the slugging percentage. That ball is turning. Harvey doesn't lead the yard, but Jojo Bennett does. And we're tied 4-4.
And if you're MPT, you could take that breath a little bit easier now, right? It's now you're tied. You're the home team. You feel like you're in control again. Great swing, Bennett. Great swing. I think we've both been here when balls are flying out of the park, like now.
Yeah.
Almost.
And it seems like they're flying the way that nobody says you can hit the ball out to left field here. Who hits the ball out to left field here? The only place you can hit it out is right and right center. Nobody hits it out to left field.
That is the truth. That is the truth. It's got to be lefties, right? When you got powerful hitters in your lineup like JoJo Bennett and John Williams, anything's possible.
Let me know, sir.
Big swing. John Williams. He is lighting things up tonight, folks. And MPT back on top, 5-4 here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Ball.
And hitting is contagious, right? So you put 2, 3, 4 hits in a row and it's contagious and you feel like it's just super simple. And you're almost pushing each other out of the way to get in the box, you know, to get up there and take your next shot.
Play.
Right there.
Strike! Got corner!
Off the corner. Full count, 2-1. Back up the middle, fielded. Can they get Radich in time? No! They say he's safe.
Got time!
The second call that's gone not the way of competitive edge.
I almost think from a very far distance, I almost think Radich got to the bag first because the throw doesn't have a lot on it. Tyler has to go out and get it, and I am 100% wrong.
It looks like it got to the glove first.
Sure. And if I'm Brandon Miller here, I might go out. I'm definitely in their pocket right now, right? And I'm telling them, guys,
2 calls.
missed one.
Yeah.
We can't miss 2 here. Get together, do the right thing, make the right call. Now you got to be careful here if you're Brandon, and definitely Farron. You want to protect Farron, right? You can't have Farron get kicked out for whatever reason. So Brandon's got to take control of this, get these guys out of here. Which he's doing.
You can see the
which
ball.
he's doing. He's doing a great job.
You can see the ball in the glove.
Yeah. And listen, so these guys have worked a lot of games, right? But this is their Super Bowl as well. They want to be perfect.
Tell in the transfer, Honeycutt, when he
Just like when a player makes an error, it happens with umpires.
I mean, it's clearly out. I mean, there's the ball, and the foot is not even on close to being on the bag.
Yeah, and that's why.
Bernie, Matt, let me ask you a question. In our earlier broadcast, we had talked about using replay, and we know we can't do it in the regular season, but maybe with the equipment we have here, right?
And it's something that it's funny because we had talked about it, junior and I earlier. Doc Beckwell, he was really interested a couple years ago in implementing some sort of replay into the championship. And the difference is, right now, we're bringing the championship. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. We don't have as many cameras as Major League Baseball does, but we have a lot of cameras. And obviously, you could have gotten this call right. I don't think that the teams need 8 challenges because, God forbid, if we give you 8 challenges, we'll never get to the championship game. We'll be starting at 2 in the morning.
Well, I think what it is you say, hey, let's take a look. And if it's blatantly obvious, right, which I think that was blatantly obvious, we can just overturn the call and move on. But if there's a hiccup where you go, gosh, I'm not sure, you just stay with the call on the field. And I think, because listen, this is the best game in the world, right? The biggest slow pitch softball game in the world. And I think when it all comes down to it, we just want it right? And umpires included.
And I think that was my feedback is it needs to start with some people coming together and saying, we're going to put a booklet of these are the rules that we're going to even allow to be challenged. This is the parameters that it's going to be. What Doc had talked about is having basically they have 6 umpires right now, but a 7th person, if you will, that's in our broadcast center that can kind of look at the replay. They can look at it just like you do for Major League Baseball. They're the end-all be-all. They're going to be the ones that's going to overturn it or not.
And you don't need to go to the booth and listen to them. You can have a red light or green light. Just something simple and move on. I think that would be good.
Maybe we'll see it in 2023. We certainly have the capability, and I would tell you that our crew is second to none that brings you the sights and sounds of this game.
Couldn't agree with that more.
And the difference for these guys is a lot of them just doing one Major League Baseball game on the day. These guys have been grinding all day long.
They are amazing. I've befriended a few of them. KJ, for instance, wants to take your footsteps. Maybe try his hand at announcing.
And emotion's starting to run a little bit high here.
Looks like Rip's out there checking on something. Looks like Brandon Miller thinks he knows what's going on.
Umpire and staff doing a good job of trying to get this game under control. It's 5-4, but again, that second out, if you will. You can't get this type of a group any extra outs.
Well, I think you said at the top of the broadcast, really, you can't give any extra outs, right? No matter how they come, it's really difficult, especially with teams of this caliber. A lot of times, those will come back and can mean 6, 7, 8 runs and a huge rally in an inning.
Well, if anything, maybe if you're competitive edge, you're hoping that it maybe slows the momentum. I know that's obviously one of your strategies.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. Chris Aninos, though, been around for a long time.
It's going to pop up. It's going to be deep enough to score the 6th run. And I think a lot of times people are like, hey, sacrifice fly, didn't do great. But as much as it's been like almost a baseball game here in this year's Men's Major World Series, that one run, that might be the one that wins the ball game at the end of the night.
100%. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that are out of the tournament right now wish they had that one run, in any particular spot. Connor Murray, the third baseman for MPT Rental.
Flew out in his first plate appearance. 2 in scoring position, 2-run lead for MPT, and 2 out here in the inning. It's the right idea. Trying to go opposite field, but just went out of play.
Yeah, I don't mind that swing. I think with 2 outs and 2 guys in scoring position, I think you go with your best, right? I don't think you're trying to move it around too much. If that's his best, great. I don't know what his best is, but I don't know if that was it. So your strengths, right? Everything you do in your BP and everything like that, your mechanics in these situations, that's why you rely on them.
Ground ball to third. The throw across the diamond on point, and that time he is called out. Got it there in plenty of time. But it worked here in the bottom of the third. Competitive edge, 3 runs in the top of the third. MPT answers back with 3 of their own, and it's back to a 2-run lead for the Men's Major World Series. MPT Reynolds, who leads at 6-4.
Crush that. I'm not worried about what they do. I only care what I bring to the table. Make moves, don't ever let them make you. And when I'm coming, know that running won't save you. You can run, but I'ma hit you like. You know I'm coming when I get you like. I'm off the hook in the Richter like. I cannot hear you. You can run, but I'ma hit you like. You know I'm coming when I get you like. I'm off the hook in the Richter like. The clock's ticking, tick, tick, boom.
Big night at the ballpark under the lights here on Florida Space Coast. It's the Men's World Series Championship game. MPT Reynolds, the only unbeaten team at this year's major. Competitive edge. They need to win twice, but they're coming off a 3-run third inning. We'll see how they can follow it up here in the fourth. Bringing up to Todd Ankney, our entire USSSA Live crew, bringing you the sights and sounds once again of this year's major.
Since they switched it to Saturday night finish, it really does get that excitement going. It used to finish on Sundays at noon, and now you see a lot more people here. It's a really good crowd tonight.
Yeah, that was one of the things for me coming into USSSA. I don't think that I was the, as we see a ground ball hit over to first. Maybe not. I'm sure there was more than just myself that pushed for Saturday night, but I came in and I was like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you have everybody on the Saturday night at Disney watching the game, and then we end on Sunday morning and everybody's flying home, and they're not waking up because they were partying the night ago. And I think that it is huge to finish under the lights, and obviously we have some really late finishes sometimes if you have a big Saturday, but I would think for these players it's got to have a whole lot more of a championship feel to have all these players coming in, filtering in from the backfield. Obviously, as the games finish out there, even more will file in. If we get a second if game, you have even another 1,000 people in the stadium. It's got to really provide a buzz for you guys.
Right. I mean, as a kid, too, right? You played during the day. When you got under the lights for this first time, it was special. And, you know, this place, by all means, is more special than any of them. It's bright. It's great. People can shine.
Oh, flip. Washington, can he make the play in time? Oh, he beat it out for a base hit. Is that a make good? That's the question.
Logan Rogers says, I just beat you out. Again.
Heck of a play by Flip, though.
The man is an outfielder by trade, so to speak. Let's take a look here. Flip, great play. Fantastic arm.
Oh, my gosh. A nightmare of a night over at the first base bag.
We were just talking about the lights. Maybe they're a little
bright over there in the first base position.
And I think Rip is going to ask, man, we need, so. No harm, no foul now, right? And we don't like to see if there is a makeup call. I don't believe there was. But it is even. Now we can move on.
And here's Logan Rogers. Excuse me, Tyler Irvine, I should say. Again, that's a big change because now you got a guy here as opposed to the base is empty. You got a guy that can tie it.
Correct. And Logan Rogers on base again for his team. Pink taking his time here, part of this mental aspect right here. Pink's really a smart pitcher, and he knows. Just comes up short.
Not the swing. The home run of the elevator shaft, if you will.
Yeah, and here, I'll explain something there. Orlando Castillo played it straight up, but if Orlando lets that hit the ground, then both runners are in jeopardy to be put out. He could have turned a double play there, and I know it's a dangerous spot, but boy, what a huge momentum swing that would have been.
So Rogers will hold it first. They survive the biggest hitter on competitive edge's side, but we got now a guy like Ryan Honeycutt who's almost, you'd say, somewhat due here.
Yeah, and he's hit, I think, 5 so far this World Series. Is that right?
Yeah, 5 home runs.
More than capable.
7 runs batted in.
But I think Pink's going to stay away from him. I think Pink would be okay with him hitting to the left center gap versus hard pull for the homer. You want to preserve that 2-run lead.
Start! Corner!
At the corner, called a strike. 0-1.
So now if you're Honeycutt, maybe you take a little off your swing to drive it to wherever you need to versus going all out for the homer.
Good gapper. Rogers has got good speed. He's certainly capable of scoring from first. Honeycutt, he trucks in there at second, and there's 2 in scoring position. Oh my goodness, the ball gets thrown around the infield, and competitive edge able to eke out their 5th run.
Yeah, and you really want to make sure we're making all the easy plays, just like we talked about at the top. We want to make sure the plays that are at us we want to catch. Anything after that, like flips play up the middle, that's a bonus, right?
Yep.
That is page 1, day 1 stuff, is what I say.
But this is what you don't want to do. Ball comes in from the outfield.
Correct.
And you just mishandle it, and that's the 3rd error of this championship game for MPT Reynolds officially on the scoreboard. And
I've been in this position where Mark is at, right? Usually you kind of reserve your timeouts for certain spots, to ice a hitter, things like that. Mark's not doing that right now. Mark's going out there saying, listen, man, Pink, great job, but listen, we need to clean this up right now. This is the major World Series. Clean it up. Back each other up. Make sure we're focused. And then pumps them back up and say, hey, we got this. Let's go. Get this out, Pink.
Yeah, Big John Williams, they're just, it goes without saying, he catches the ball cleanly. Rogers is just waiting at third, and now you have a chance to grab him. And if you get a base hit here, it's a moot point because 2 would have came in anyways.
Correct. So, but it's different hitting with a guy on first base than the guy on second base. And I think John was just trying to make a play. He was thinking that Rogers, with his speed, was trying to, finish and go home, and John rushed it when he looked. So we'll see here.
So Bolin at the plate with a chance to tie it back up here in the 4th.
Way off the plate here, looking to put even an inside pitch to the outside. So I think if I'm Pink here, maybe I go to the outer corner and just leave it a little bit low.
His first pitch was outside.
Great pitch by Pink.
Popped up right side. So it still ends up being a pretty big play in the outfield because it allows competitive edge to score 1 extra run. They score for the 3rd straight inning. Competitive edge on the board with 5, but MPT, the unbeaten team in this year's Men's Major World Series, carrying a 1-run lead into the bottom of the 4th.
Crush that. I'm not worried about what they do. I only care what I bring to the table. Make moves, don't ever let them make you. And when I'm coming, know that running won't save you. You can run, but I'ma hit you like. You know I'm coming when I get you like. I'm off the hook in the Richter light. I cannot hear you. You can run, but I'ma hit you like. You know I'm coming when I get you like. I'm off the hook in the Richter light. The clock's ticking, tick, tick, boom.
Back here at Florida Space Coast Complex, they are filling up the ballpark now. Teams coming in from all across the backfields. Just a beautiful night on Florida Space Coast. think it goes without saying this is the best weather that I have seen in my 10 years at a Men's Major World Series.
Yeah,
you got a little more history than I do. You may have a better year, but this has been pretty good.
No, I would agree, and I think moving the tournament back a few weeks, right? We did it with COVID, and then we kind of stuck to that. I think that's really helped. And obviously we missed a hurricane, and, you know, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the people that were hit by that. But the weather here is about as good as you can get.
Pinkham to lead things off.
Pinkham with the gold belt.
Hoping that he has the champion's belt at the end of the night.
Bill not too happy with that call. Good time for umpires to rein it in here a little bit, take back control.
Top of the lineup in Washington due up next. Fly ball, long run, and tracked down out in center field. Beautiful play made by Lendensky.
Lendensky is... Pinkham doesn't have necessarily the power that some of these guys do, so he's playing him shallow to take away the hit. And then Bill tried to burn him deep, and he makes over-the-shoulder catch, made it look easy, gliding to the ball. This guy has the power.
Right here's Flip Washington, 1 for 2. Completely different approach in this championship than he had last night in the winner's bracket final.
One of the things I find interesting, and it should be like this way, but like in earlier games, guys were on the bench, they were sitting. Now both teams on the rail of the dugout, cheering their teammates on.
This is it. You got a couple months before the Challenge Cup, and
yeah, the Challenge Cup has really turned into a great event, right? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of teams, a lot of guys talk about it year-round. I, in fact, heard Jason Magnum say that's his favorite off-season tournament now.
Yeah. It's our second most watched event to this one on USSSA Live. So Washington take a step back off the plate as maybe he wanted to have a chance to turn on. He'll take the walk.
He has one of
being a base runner.
He has one of the best eyes in softball.
That's his first walk of this major World Series, and it gives Ryan Harvey a chance to give MPT
and
a 3-1 lead.
That was an absolute mistake by Farron. He didn't want to walk Phillips to get to Ryan. Ryan needs to catch this ball out front and spin it.
He drives it, but the ballpark's going to hold it again, folks.
Earlier today, talking to a couple of my teammates, Austin Andrews, Heath Barnes, we were talking like there's almost a force field at about 10 feet to the wall, and it just knocks it down. But then you see the next ball like Jojo hit to left field. I mean, it's on top of the hill. Just like. So I think it's a lot of technique what some of these guys are learning as they go. And I think right now, if you're Farron, you're very careful with Jojo here. You have a base
first
open.
Base open. Are you going to wait and maybe pitch to John Williams? I mean, Jojo Bennett's been as good as any.
I think he's giving him one of those looks like, I'll miss. Maybe try and squeeze a strike in there. Jojo with the drive to left center.
Yeah, that one hit to the gap, but that's another great run. Lendensky tracks it down at the wall, and the play made, and it's the second time tonight that we have seen MPT Reynolds go scoreless, and it is all about the D.
Bad course management there for Jojo. I think he'd tell you that. He'd like to pull that ball, but you're right. It's all about the D fence.
After 4, one-run game here in Vieira, with MPT Reynolds leading 6-5. Beautiful night on Florida Space. It's interesting tonight because you get two new bat manufacturers here in the tape. That's another storyline. You got Juno, MPT Reynolds, and then this competitive edge side that swings Suncoast.
Yeah, and you know, the staples of our industry, right? Easton, Mikan, Rawlings, Worth, DeMarini. Those companies aren't in this game for the first time in a long time. Now, there's maybe single players who are in it, but realistically, Juno, Suncoast. So the new 240 bats, maybe they figured out something that the others didn't so far.
Base hit to start things off. Make it an extra base hit. He's thinking third for a triple, and he starts off the inning going all the way to third.
Mitch has had himself a heck of an inning and a half here. Great catches out in the outfield, and leads off a triple. And as you're on deck hitter now, as your hitter coming to the plate, that is a lot easier to deal with than a guy on first. So we might have no, that is Jeff Roxby, I apologize.
You talked about that Jason Branch is available.
Jason has played in many of these major World Series, has tons of experience. I'm not sure if he is down or if it's a coach's decision or he's hurt, but certainly I'm sure he's guiding this team with his knowledge.
Chance to tie the ball game. And they're going to do just that. Fly ball out to right. They're trading out for a run.
Good defensive swing by Roxby, right? Make sure you're not pulling the ball, because realistically, if you hit it to the third baseman pitcher or first baseman, he may not score. Great swing by Roxby. He's very solid in all aspects. 6-6. Top of the fifth.
Brandon Jackson now coming to the plate. He's got the second most RBIs on this entire squad, so he has come through huge.
He has.
Huge in this tournament for competitive edge.
Interesting to see what he does here. I think he's 0 for 2 backside swing, and then he rounded out or popped up. I'm not sure exactly. I'll try and remember. But he does have the power to hit this ball out of the park and give competitive edge a lead.
Deep fly ball. It keeps carrying, but it needed a couple more feet.
That force field got it. Great pitch by Pinkham there. Inside hands, little cutter into him, and it jammed him just enough to stop that ball from getting out of the park.
So Jackson retired, and that's going to bring up Brandon Filartello. The boys from the Hit and Sit podcast watching the ball game. Get to listen to them on Monday. It's going to be a juicy show with all the rumors about next year's teams. But right now we're just trying to enjoy this one.
Absolutely.
When you think about these two teams, they've been building for quite some time. MPT has been building for this moment. A lot of people say competitive edge back next year as a major team, which is going to be huge for the conference to get up to potentially 4 or 5 again, depending on how it all shakes out.
That is a fact. I did talk to Brandon Miller. They are definitely going major, which some would argue that they were this year.
But great to see again that they are, for sure, and they're not backing down, and that's the biggest difference. Is we talk about, you've seen, I've got just a little over a decade of watching these, and it used to be really a 2-horse contest, if I'm honest with you, and it's no longer a 2-horse contest.
No, and I think that has a lot to do with the young guys coming up who see this, right? All these guys in the stand who are playing C, they're seeing this right now going, man. And there's going to be some people that are in the stands right now who end up on one of these teams or maybe one of these teams in their tournament because this is what they want to do. The difference between C and B and AA and major is obviously you have to be talented, but you also have to have a huge work ethic. And you do have to get a break, but when you get it, you have to shine.
Play.
Called strength to Miller, who had the huge hit earlier.
Play.
And honestly, you never know who it is among the thousands of fans watching across all of our platforms tonight that's watching this game that maybe play baseball and they say, hey, what is this sport? That finds this sport, and now they're a part of it, and they're part of the reports that DW does weekly on Conference USSSA. And at the end of the day, it literally is major level softball, major level players, and another major level hit for Miller, who's had a huge game tonight.
He's doing it on the mound and he's doing it at the plate. He's arguably could be 3 for 3 with a weird call at second, but yeah, listen, the conference is littered with ex-major leaguers / ex-minor leaguers. The CEO of USSSA, ex-minor leaguer, right? So it really does. And as you get more of those people introduced to this sport, they really do fall in love with it more and more, and that attracts more of their friends. So I think, again, the parity in the conference is crazy. You always have to bring your A game, every game.
Scoggins, the batter. Pinkham takes it himself. It's a surefire way to tag the bag. Retires his side, but competitive edge. Gets a runner aboard. Sack fly to score the 6th run of the ball game. All tied up, headed to the bottom of the 5th. And one of the things that really separates this game, Todd, is defense. And we take a look at some of the highlights today. What has been one of your favorite defensive plays that you've seen so far in this tournament?
It was the first game of the tournament. Eric Nielos on our team made a diving grab in right field, his first major World Series ever, the first ball ever hit to him ever, and he was able to track that down. Great play there. You see some of these guys, you'll see the athletic abilities. I think back in the day when slow pitch softball was first, they thought everybody, they thought everybody was just these big hulks that hit home runs and there was no defense. And I don't know that was true back then, but certainly now you can see people who are athletes, right?
Yep.
They play both sides of the ball. They have great arms. Saving yourself there a little bit.
And sometimes you're trying to play defense yourself, right?
Correct, yeah. We're going to see one from tonight here. Yeah, these guys are incredible athletes, man. Pinkham taking a seat. He's on break there.
It's probably the play of the night.
I would have to say. I mean, when a guy is that big and that strong, is that athletic and able to move, I mean, the only other guy maybe on is John Williams. John Williams has certainly the ability to do that.
Speaking of John Williams, here he is at the plate, leading things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Williams, Radich, and Josh Christian, who is, by the way, the only member of the Hidden Sit podcast that's not watching this one at home. But we'll still try to get him on the show. I'm sure that'll be a little bit of a topic that they'll have.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they've actually brought up a lot of good points. It's entertaining. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest go on to YouTube or whatever platform they put it on and watch some of them. The guys on there are pretty enlightened. They're funny. They do talk about serious topics. They don't stand on one topic for long. It moves very quickly.
And they're not afraid to talk about the big topic. I don't think they're going to spend the entire show talking about the balls here in this Men's Major World Series, but it's going to be brought up. They're going to certainly talk about the key points.
Listen, the difference is everybody has to play with it, and it's a mindset, right? It's just like when it's raining or it's cold. If you can get through that mindset, like, hey, we're playing in the rain, it is what it is. We have to deal with it. How we deal with it over them, the opponent, is how we can take an advantage.
And sometimes maybe it becomes a little bit too much in some of these athletes' heads, and then it turns out to where, as opposed to, as you see this ball, that one leaves the yard. It flies when it needs to fly.
And John Radis put that thing in orbit.
8-6.
And there's a perfect example of we want to not walk people, right? Like walking John Williams in that spot gives Radich an opportunity there, and he drives the ball backside for a 2-run lead for MPT. That is a huge swing this late in the game. See sponsor coach Mark Carucci there in the dugout.
Josh Kirsten into center, caught.
So the only way that Lindinsky didn't catch the one that Radich hit is because it went over the fence. He seemed to be catching everything else.
Middle infielder Orlando Castillo.
I said it earlier in the broadcast, I'm not sure Orlando's the best player in his family anymore. His son, Little O, is a very good baseball player, and is probably running around the park making people throw to him now.
I'm sure that his dad would be more than happy to not be the best player in the family.
Absolutely. Right? As a dad myself, I could care less, as long as my son's happy. Sons, daughters. Daughter.
2 outs. Chris Saninos, the left fielder. Line, but foul on the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Chris Saninos, not the biggest guy that you'll see at the park. One of the nicest, and he does have true stadium power. So let's see what he can do here with a strike on him.
Oh, almost a brilliant play. And Aninas is going to dig it out and get to second with a 2-out double.
I believe that was Rogers that laid out right there. We almost had another defensive highlight for tonight. Just off the glove. Farron ducked down, give him a good clear view of it. Good hustle by Roxby to get it, and Ninos 2-out double. So I believe Donnie Walsh is in for Connor Murray.
Donnie Walsh gonna pinch hit and rips that one right past the infield. And it's gonna score the 3rd run of the inning, and it's 9-6.
Wow, that's a
huge
rocket.
hit.
That's a rocket. Rogers does not miss. That ball must have had some extra on it. Now,
yeah, this glove didn't even slow it down on its way to left field. They're going to pinch it for Bill Pinkham. Good idea here.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Maybe a little early, right? 2 outs, man on first. Unless Dorton is going to try and absolutely hit a home run here. I don't like if he just tries to Judy it out there somewhere. If he's going to try and hit a home run, great move, which he did.
And he hits the home run. A 2-run shot, and the inning continues.
You'll see Mark Carucci here. He's going to let everybody know. There he is. So, yeah, exactly. I think that's Joe's 2nd home run, pinch hit home run in the last 2 games. He went up and got it and absolutely powered it out of the park.
And it's a 5-run 5th inning. That's the biggest inning of the ball game that we have seen so far. And it brings him back to the top of the lineup. And this is what you're worried about if you're competitive edge.
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, maybe you're starting to think about changing the pitcher, maybe calling a timeout. 2 out runs at this level in this part of the game are absolutely critical of your competitive edge. You want none of those. Philip Washington, professional hitter, trying to extend the game here, or trying to extend the inning, excuse me.
Want to know to the leadoff hitter for MPT Reynolds. Count even 1-1.
You can kind of see the energy in the park is all on the third base side right now. Even the fans over there, maybe they'll have a vested interest, maybe they don't, but I can just feel the energy on that side is a lot greater. Ooh, Phillip hits a long ball.
And it's going to be caught out at the wall to retire the side, but not before Washington's team using the Juno power to leave the yard. It started with John Radich, and it becomes a 5-run fifth lead in MPT Reynolds. They've got their biggest lead of the ball game, up 11-6 as we head to the 6th.
Hey guys, Mark here with Smasher Sports. Hope everyone's enjoying the men's major tournament. Go Smasher Sports teams. Just so everyone knows, we have $99 slow pitch bats going on right now. Select bats only, but tons of deals, 15% off some of the new stuff. Some bats, Mike and KP's at $199, but we have bats right now at $99.99. Go get yours before they sell out. They will sell out this weekend. Hurry over, smashersports.com.
They're having a lot of fun here at the Space Coast Complex in Carucci and company. They're feeling it. Up 5 here in the top of the 6th. Down to their final 6 outs. Still a lot of outs left. But you get 2 quick outs here without scoring any run-ins, and I think got to start to really put the pressure on the shoulders of competitive edge. That was a huge inning there.
Yeah, and they really haven't felt pressure at all so far in this tournament to this extreme. So they knew if they lost last game, they'd still have a chance. But now we're starting to think, okay, I need a hit here. It's a lot easier to hit when you're up 10 than down 5.
Fly ball to right, caught. Play made by Jojo Bennett for the first out. The first out we talked about.
Yeah, that's always the most important, obviously. And credit Bill Pinkham, really minimal walks, always pitching to the strike zone, getting guys to get themselves out sometime. He's getting guys out, and certainly his defense is helping them.
It's a big out because
Go down when he steps on it.
it brings Irvine to the plate with the bases empty. A chance to only get back 1.
That's the top, sir. 0-1.
Called a strike at the top of the zone. And the next pitch has left the yard, folks. Irvine delivers the first run here in the 6th.
And as pumped up as they are, they still know they need to do work. Tyler's ideal situation here is to get another at bat this inning. I thought Pink threw a great pitch here. Tyler made a good adjustment, pulls his hands through it, gets the barrel to the ball, and drives it out of the park. Nice shot of the dugout there.
Play.
And Honeycutt now at the plate. Blooper that gets out of play.
Pink.
No harm, no foul on the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I don't love that swing. Honeycutt has plenty of power to hit it out of here. The ball is moving. It's definitely moving better to right. I would like to see him lock in, stand on the plate, and try and drive the ball out of here. And that's probably why I'm sitting up here and he's playing.
Honeycutt's got 5 home runs in this World Series. Jackson with 5, Bolin with 5. Cal Irvine, your leader, with 7 home runs, right alongside Ryan Harvey at the top of the table. Think on the 0-1 pitch.
Credit Ryan Harvey has now had 1 pass ball. Keeping the rhythm of the pitcher is important.
Play.
Honeycutt awaits the 1-1. And he drives that one into the night. Back-to-back jacks for competitive edge. And they're working their way back here in the 6th inning.
Yes, sir.
The never quit kids, right? I love Tyler's approach there. I'm sorry, Ryan's approach there. Absolutely figured it out. Smashed the ball out of the park. Number 6 for him. More importantly, 3 runs closer, or 3 runs only between the 2 teams.
And they're hoping that Bolin can keep it going. He's going after his 6th home run.
And I think Pink knows his best shot is to hit that out to right field. So he's staying inside, let that one slip out, and there he goes. He got him again.
He gets the out here.
Out.
Big second out.
Bill Pinkham has done a great job, just like Farron Miller. Think about it, we're unlimited home runs with the best players in the world, at the best complex in the world, and these pitchers have held under 20 runs to this point. That's amazing to me. Defense is alive and well.
Heck of a game for Mitch Lendensky, the center fielder for competitive edge.
Play. Ball, stay down.
At the moment down to your final 4 outs, and you have to factor in that MPT, they've been blanked twice.
Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yep.
But they're likely to still tack on at least a couple between here and the end of the game.
I would think with their lineup, they are definitely capable of that, or if not more. But if you're competitive edge, you just have to worry about what you can control right now, and that's scoring some runs, and then worry about the defensive side. Farron has done a great job. He hasn't walked many.
Base on balls right there.
And on cue, Ladinsky on base again.
So Jeff Roxby coming to the plate. We're lucky tonight to have the great Kevin Croft and Jeff Brown, as always. You could hear their voice in the background. They have done such a phenomenal job, and we're always thankful that those two make their way down to Vieira. Not the Men's Major World Series without those two melodious voices going over the PA system here.
It is literally soothing when you hear them announce the first name. They do a tremendous job.
I don't know about you, but the Roxby song makes you ready to hit home runs.
Ball.
See, they're trying to maybe stay away from Roxby a little bit here, but you have to go at him with 2 outs.
Out of play.
He is a very tough out, especially in this World Series. Doesn't ever try to do too much.
1 ball, 1 strike. Between them.
Got the bat way out in front, evens the count at 1-1.
Play.
Pinkham ready. 1-1 pitch. That should do it, folks.
I believe that's Overstreet into play second base for defense there. Made that final out.
Roxy retired, 2 on the board for competitive edge, but they find themselves down to their final 3 outs, but they got some help. They left the yard twice, and they find themselves trailing by 3, hoping to hold the number right there as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Back here, bottom of the 6th. 11-8. MPT finds themselves on top.
I think one of the weird things you see here is the score is 11-8. Competitive Edge has out-hit MPT by 1 and has 0 errors, and MPT has 3. Usually it's the reverse of that. Usually that team is leading.
And at least one more time through the lineup with the Mashers, starting with Ryan Harvey.
Out of play. My bad.
Well, I would say they've handled well tonight so far.
Absolutely. A little backside boogie there, maybe a little Southern California Judy there to right field, Ryan was thinking.
One for 3, RBI single.
Not quite the stat line you're used to seeing with Ryan Harvey.
Play.
That's what you're used to seeing, but that ball is going to go, it looked, well, they're going to call it fair, a home run.
That's the Ryan Harvey everybody loves to see. That's the one that all these people want to see right there.
He thought it was foul. And then it just
The face of, I guess, MPT Juno, and he certainly showed why.
Harvey's gone over the wall. 4-run lead for MPT, and now Jojo Bennett steps in.
Jojo Bennett, gone! Back-to-back home runs.
So just like that, MPT puts their 2 runs up to match competitive edge. And back to a 5-run lead.
Yeah, you got it. I can't hear nothing with this music anyway, John.
And it's back to that same 5-run lead.
Play.
13-8. And it would appear they're not done yet because there's nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And I think this is a little bit of what you talked about, where as competitive edge, you still have your bullets in the gun if you're MPT. You don't want to just go and give them up, and here they are looking to expand their lead.
Talked about John Williams, struggles at the plate earlier tonight. 2 for 2 night. They're going to give him a base on balls here and give Radich a chance to leave the yard again. And it's Overstreet who's going to hit for Radich.
Let me know, sir. Play.
Ground ball. Could be 2. They go to second for 1, back to first, and they turn a 5-4-3 double play.
And right when you need it the most, Farron gets the ball to Boland, to Roxby, to Irvine. Tough slide there in at second.
Got time.
Not a panacea, but it definitely helps.
Correct. I guess we're going to make sure Roxby's okay.
Elsie Watson.
Taking a walk. I think Roxby tried to wave him off, and Elsie's looking to slow things down here, maybe get a little ice time for Josh Kirsten.
Make him think about it for a moment longer.
So the substitution for Radich pays off defensively and maybe backfires a little offensively.
Music and some jackets will be banana land. 2 outs, guys.
There he is.
Josh Kirsten earlier in the day told me that the first time in a long, long time he can remember at a Major World Series this late in the tournament, his body feels great. So
the difference of being on the winner's bracket side, right? I would assume.
That is 100% correct. The less games, the 1 game a day, maybe 2 at the end there, it's so much easier on your body.
I'm sure there are many that were hoping that Resmondo and Smash had one of those teams that have made a long run and worked their way back. But you start at 8 a.m., you play this last game at 8 p.m. I don't believe it's a formula for success, at least that's my opinion.
No, you're 100% correct. And, I mean, the heat does get to you after a while. The people who are in the best shape, it wears you down. It just, and that's the advantage of winning the games early and staying in the winner's bracket and winning that winner's final. You're at the hotel in air conditioning, you're resting, you're eating well, and then you come out fresh.
But even if you're a competitive edge, playing back-to-back games, not a huge deal, I wouldn't think, right?
No, and I don't think it is at all here. I think what is happening here now is you're starting to see the difference between a major team and the difference between a double-A team. Power being most of it.
And on to the final inning. MPT tacking on 2 more. Ryan Harvey leaves the yard to start off the scoring. And it's back to a 5-run deficit. The competitive edge is chasing in the 7th as MPT closing in on being men's major champions for the first time ever. Inning by inning, you got to credit both these teams, particularly competitive edge. Didn't score in the first, but they found a way to score in every inning, but they'd like to have a couple more innings that have produced more than 1 run. That's probably the biggest difference here.
Yeah, and I think ultimately you do want to score in every inning. That is a huge advantage usually. But again, I think you're dealing with just an immense amount of power in the MPT dugout and experience. Not that competitive edge isn't close.
Yep.
And they could still make this happen. It's not out of the realm. But I think that's where it's starting to push towards as we get closer here to the final.
The good news they have is it is the bottom part of MPT Reynolds if they can score 5 or 6. And this isn't the start that they wanted. Little acrobatic play there. Overstreet makes the play, and MPT 2 outs away.
I heard in college he was a 2-time Gold Glove champion, not, for his defensive prowess, and you can see why, right? That's a long run for him to go.
But it's a flip side of the same story for competitive edges. They're chasing 5 runs at the bottom of the lineup. But if you're going to score 5, you're going to have to go almost all the way around, you would imagine.
Pretty much right, yeah, because especially with the way things are going tonight. So maybe Jackson takes a pitch there. Maybe he sets, maybe tries something different. Didn't put a great swing on it. He's put plenty of great swings on it throughout the tournament, but in this final inning, you really like to be a patient guy and make sure you barrel it up in a swing and a strike.
Andy Filartello. Pitch on the inside.
Good call by Steve Milani, home plate umpire.
At this point, you just need base runners no matter which way you go. You got a long way home.
It doesn't matter if it comes on a hit, an error, a walk. However you get there, you get there.
Is the tire rubber helping you out?
I think it helps him dry his hand. Your uniform's probably soaked. Back in the day, obviously it was dirt. You could go down and grab some dirt, but I think he finds a dry spot just to the left there, and he puts his hand in. Huge walk there by Pink. That's, I think, maybe his second one of the game. So he gets a good grip on the ball, obviously. I saw Andy Purcell out earlier, actually, with a rosin bag, which was smart.
And we're going to see Jason Branch in a big spot. And not necessarily a spot that you need to feel like you don't need a home run here, right?
No, I think Farron was your scheduled hitter, right? And I think this is a great spot for him because tons of experience. He knows what he needs to do. He doesn't need to hit a home run. Just get on base. Jason's going to go up through the middle there. And I was wrong.
It's a big swing. He said, forget the base hit. I'm going to get 2 of the 5 back.
The no-quit kids, I tell you what, that is a huge swing by Jason Branch. It looked angry to the point of, I think he wanted to play in this game.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, he's not, but I think there was a lot of frustration there, and they got the most out of Jason Branch that they could right there.
Branch is fired up.
Little energy drink there for Jason.
And a big spot here. If Scoggins can get a hit and bring him to the top, and he's going to do just that. It gets down. They got a chance, folks. Top of the lineup. Farmer, excuse me.
Farmer. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't know. Young guy came in and pitched the game earlier this World Series. And here we are at the top of their order.
So Santa got a chance. Chip in a chair.
Chip in a chair, and I absolutely love this look right here for the camera. I think it really gives you some insight. Logan's been their catalyst all tournament. I love this move too.
You got to do whatever you can to slow things down, right?
And I say I love it, but are you in, I guess in my theory here, are you in danger right now?
Yeah.
If Logan Rogers hits a home run here, you're still leading. You still have to bat. I don't necessarily think this is a great timeout. It's good, but Logan Rogers really been unaffected by almost anything today. So let's see what we can get.
Probably what's even bigger at this moment, at least for me, is just him getting on board because of who's after him.
And to Carucci's credit, he's probably talking about just that. Hey, let's go at these guys, right? We get a ground ball, we're going to try for 2, but we make sure we're going to get 1. We want to preserve that lead.
1 for 4 night for Rogers. Desperately needs his second hit here.
It's been traditionally hard pulled on the left field side.
Looks like they're playing it that way. MPT smothering the left side right now.
Good waist pitch by Pink there.
Evens it up. Ball and a strike. 1 out. Top of the 7th. MPT 2 outs away from being men's major champions. This ball going, and the ballpark holds it, and now MPT is 1 out away from being the champions. And no matter how hard the ball is hit here by the home run champion, they'll still be trailing by a run.
They will, and the advantage of being in this tournament, though, it is unlimited. So there's no home run count, and certainly the guy behind him in Ryan Honeycutt, if Tyler Irvine finds a way to get it out of the park, Honeycutt can match him and tie this thing back right up. Huge swing, rather young career for Mr. Irvine. Great matchup here between Bill and him.
All right, MPT 1 out away from being crowned men's major champions.
Bill worked him high last time.
Popped up, out to left field. MPT, they are on top. Carucci has done it. They're the men's major champions for the first time ever.
It is an amazing accomplishment for Mark and Rip and all their players. Enjoy it, boys.
A perfect men's major World Series for MPT. And after years of chasing the title, MPT has arrived, folks. They're on top.
A lot of great guys on that team. A lot of guys who have tried and played for a long time and have searched and seeked this title out, and now they have it.
Well, a great World Series back Monday. Hit and sit, getting you set for next year. I know the rumors are already flying. Where's everybody is going to be?
They're flying.
We're going to have it for you. You can check it out live on the USSSA Slowpitch Facebook page and, of course, on YouTube. But for our entire crew that worked so hard to bring you the sights and sounds for the Men's Major World Series, all the play-by-play color announcers to DW Dale Weiser and our entire crew, Todd Ankney, Bernie Gunther, so long from Vieira. Congratulations to Rip and Carucci. They have finally done it. MPT, they're the men's major champions, 13-10. The final score. Stay with us. You'll have the trophy presentation coming your way shortly right here on USSSALive.com.
It's been a wonderful 4 days of softball, and now we're going to get concluded with the awards presentation in just a couple of minutes.
I told you the game last year, this team was fucking found out. You should fucking find a tree that gave you options in a college for that fucking tree to green in that area. And it was a, and he was like, are you on here? So Jason Brand, no, I'm sure because he always did that. I'm not happy about me. Actually, I don't want to see that. No, I did some him over here once. Fucking dude started hitting me. Oh, he's a mad. Oh, red. Oh, yeah, red. No, I want to do that. Utah. I'll do it right here where there's like a net gift. Come to the net, motherfucker. I'm so much faster. You have no fucking significance. Okay. Try and help me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now draw your attention to the home plate area. And we are ready to begin the presentation of awards here at the 2022 USSSA Men's Major World Series. Presenting the awards, the outstanding staff for the USSSA, the National Director, Stroh Kennison, Slowpitch National Director, Sean Melvin, Conference USSSA Director Tom Kelly, Conference USSSA Director Tim Yamashita, and the incomparable Sam Flores. Let's begin by recognizing the team that you all just witnessed finish in second place here at the Major. They have had an outstanding season, an incredible week here in Florida. They are your 2022 AA World Champions, and now they finished as the runners-up at this year's 2022 Major World Series. Let's have a round of applause for Competitive Edge. And now, I would like to introduce each of the members of your 2022 World Series champions, MPT Rentals. Gentlemen, come on out to be recognized when I call your name. Flip Washington, Ryan Harvey, Jojo Bennett, John Williams, John Radich, Josh Kirsten, Orlando Castillo, Chris Aninos, Connor Murray, Bill Pinkham, Donnie Walsh, Joe Dorton, Orlando Oliveira, John Dombrowski, Kyle Overstreet, the manager Mark Carucci, and the assistant coach Patrick Raporti. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 World Series champions. Next up, we would like to begin by introducing all of the members of the 2022 All-World Team. Gentlemen, when I call your name, please come out to the home plate area to accept your award. From Proton, Brad Lunda. From Competitive Edge, Joe Boland. From MPT, Jojo Bennett. From Monster, Austin Daw. From MPT, Ryan Harvey. From Rock Run, Jeremy Fry. From Smash It, Rich Roccabaldo. From Competitive Edge, Mitch Lendensky. From MPT, Chris Aninos. From Proton, John Nelson. From Competitive Edge, Andy Filateo. From MPT, John Radich. From Monster, Steele Lewis. From MPT, Josh Kirsten. From Competitive Edge, Tyler Irvine. From Monster, Jeremy Yates. From Proton, Brock Frenzel. From MPT, Bill Pinkham. From Monster, Jason Matusik. From Competitive Edge, Ryan Honeycutt. And from MPT, Flip Washington. And of course, any all-world team needs an all-world manager. From MPT, Mark Carucci. The next award goes to the man who hit the most home runs in the World Series. This year's home run champion with 8 home runs from Competitive Edge, Tyler Irvine. Next, the award for the Outstanding Defensive Player in this year's World Series, often referred to as the Golden Glove Award. This year's Gold Glove winner from MPT, their outstanding pitcher, Bill Pinkham. Next up, the award to the Outstanding Offensive Player. Let me first just give you some of his statistics. He had 8 home runs. He had 15 RBIs. He had 15 hits. He led the series in homers, was second in RBIs. It is just a cap on an outstanding offensive season. It's been an outstanding weekend for Mr. Tyler Irvine. And the final award goes to the most valuable player, the man whose combined performance at the plate and in the field helped to spur his team to the World Series championship. He had an average of .750 throughout the series. He played an outstanding left field. Your MVP, Mr. Chris Aninos. And as Chris poses for his well-deserved award, We would just like to thank everyone here at the stadium and on the USSSA staff who have worked so hard throughout the weekend and throughout the year to put on this incredible event. It truly is, as it has been for now 52 years, the showcase of slow pitch softball, and it wouldn't happen without the incredible efforts of the USSSA staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving them all a round of applause for all they do. And so once again, congratulations to MPT Rentals, our 2022 World Series champions. On behalf of the Press Box crew, we thank you all for spending these 4 incredible days with us. Now the clock officially begins to run. It is 361 days till the 53rd USSSA Major World Series. We'll be back. We hope you will all drive home safely. Enjoy the rest of your 2022. And we look forward to seeing you all back here in beautiful Viera, Florida for the next version of this wonderful World Series. Good night, everyone.